1968 Siberia. Deep beneath the frozen earth lies a Tongra Dziven, a secret Soviet city of science. An alarm blares, a high-pitched scream of reality breach. A scientist, his face pale with terror, sprints down a sterile concrete corridor. Glancing over his shoulder, he sees something impossible. His own shadow, cast long and sharp against the wall by the emergency lights, has stopped moving. It remains frozen in place as he runs on. Then, with a chilling, unnatural grace, the shadow detaches from the wall, a two-dimensional silhouette peeling itself into the air, its dark, featureless hand reaching out for him. Flash forward to the present day. Gabriel, a stalker in his 40s, carries the weight of the exclusion zone in his bones and a sickness from the radiation in his blood. He's a man running out of time and money, desperate for a cure. Opportunity knocks in the form of a high-paying, off-the-books job from a shadowy energy corporation. The mission: infiltrate the long-lost Tongra Dziven and retrieve a legendary artifact known as the Demon Core, a rumored source of perpetual energy. He won't be going alone. His team is a motley crew of specialists. There's Dr. Vera, a nuclear physicist whose cold demeanor and secretive nature are as unsettling as the mission itself. Core's a mountain of a man. Is their heavy weapons expert, a mercenary who communicates best through the barrel of a gun. And then there's Jinx, a young, talkative hacker whose fingers fly across a keyboard as fast as her mouth runs. Their journey begins in an armored vehicle, a metal beast pushing through the relentless fury of a Siberian blizzard. The world outside is a swirling vortex of white, erasing all distinction between land and sky. They finally locate the entrance to the underground city, a colossal steel door, a full meter thick. It seems welded shut from the inside. A chilling message to whatever was left behind. Jinx works her magic, bypassing the ancient locks, and with a groan of protesting metal, the gateway to the past opens. The moment they step inside, their Geiger counters, designed to shriek at danger, instead begin to whisper, a soft, unnerving crackle. Stranger still, they look at their watches. The second hands are ticking backward. The city is a time capsule, perfectly preserved from 1968. It's a ghost town frozen in a single moment of panic. On dining tables, meals are left half-eaten. In classrooms, chalk equations are left unfinished on the blackboards. But the most unsettling feature is the light. The streetlights of this subterranean city are still on, but they don't cast a warm, yellow glow. They bathe everything in an eerie, ethereal Cherenkov blue, the signature color of nuclear radiation moving through water. It's both beautiful and deeply wrong. While the others scout, Jinx hacks into the city's central computer, uncovering fragmented audio logs. The scientists' voices, filled with a mix of excitement and dawning horror, speak of their true work. They weren't just building a reactor. They were using its immense power to tear the veil between dimensions. They were trying to peek into another reality. The first sign of life comes as a flicker of movement in the corner of Korza. He raises his rifle, instincts taking over, and fires a volley of rounds at a moving shadow. The bullets tear through the wall, leaving concrete dust hanging in the air, but the shadow is unharmed. They've found the city's inhabitants. The monsters aren't flesh and blood. They are the shadows, the conscious two-dimensional imprints of the scientists and workers who died here. They slide silently along walls, floors, and ceilings, just as a normal shadow would. But they can also peel themselves off these surfaces, becoming three-dimensional voids that hunger for life. The rules of survival here are simple and terrifying. If your shadow touches theirs, they consume it. And when your shadow is gone, so are you. Your body simply disintegrates into a pile of fine black ash. Panic sets in. The team realizes their only defense is light, powerful and constant. Light keeps the shadows flat, pinned to their surfaces, but their flashlight batteries are already draining. Weakened by the strange energy pervading the city, the blue streetlights aren't strong enough to offer real protection. They're trapped in shrinking pockets of safety. During a tense trek through a darkened residential block, a shadow slips from the ceiling. It flows down the wall like black ink, merging with Korza's shadow on the floor. He cries out, a choked, desperate sound. He looks down to see his own shadow being devoured by the creeping darkness. For a moment, nothing happens. Then, his entire body, his gear, his weapon, all of it crumbles into a cascading cloud of black dust that settles silently on the ground. Pushing through their grief and terror, the remaining three, Gabriel, Vera, and Jinx, finally reach their objective, the central reactor chamber. The demon core pulses at its center, a sphere of mesmerizing, contained energy. But as Gabriel moves to secure it, Vera stops him. The truth comes out, cold and sharp as ice. She was never here for the core. She's here to destroy it. She reveals her father was the lead scientist, the man responsible for the 1968 disaster. He didn't die. He was trapped, caught in an eternal time loop inside the reactor's event horizon. The core isn't a power source. It's a gateway, a wound in reality through which the shadows are bleeding into our world. And her father is now their keeper, their nexus. The only way to close the gate is to trigger a full meltdown. Vera races to the control console and begins initiating the overload sequence. Alarms, silent for over 50 years, screamed back to life. As the reactor's power climbs, the city awakens. From every wall, every ceiling, every surface. Thousands of shadows detach at once. They pour into the chamber, a silent, black tide of two-dimensional horrors rising to become a three-dimensional swarm. Gabriel and Jinx form a desperate perimeter around Vera, their backs to the console. They use their last flares and hyperward UV lamps, weapons of last resort, burning through the encroaching darkness, turning the insubstantial monsters to wisps of smoke. But for everyone they vaporize, 10 more surge forward. The reactor goes critical. The world turns upside down as gravity itself inverts. Debris floats toward the ceiling. From the heart of the core, a colossal form emerges. It's the Shadow Lord. Vera's father. His silhouette distorted and magnified into a giant of pure darkness. It reaches for Vera, its non-face, a vortex of despair, seeking to pull her into the timeless prison with him. In that split second, Gabriel makes a choice. There's no escape for all of them. He rips the power core from his own radiation suit, a miniature sun of raw energy, and with a final, desperate roar, he hurls it directly into the reactor. The impact creates a massive electromagnetic pulse, a blinding flash of pure white light that expands in an instant. The light is absolute, eradicating every shadow, every monster, including the Shadow Lord, in a silent, cleansing wave. As the city groans and collapses around them, Gabriel grabs Vera, and they leap into an emergency maintenance elevator just as the reactor chamber implodes. The elevator rockets upward, a final, frantic escape from the tomb below. They burst through the surface into the crisp, cold air of a Siberian dawn. The storm has passed. The sun is rising, painting the snow in hues of gold and pink. Gabriel, weak and exhausted, checks his biomonitor. Inexplicably, his radiation sickness is gone. The lethal dose has vanished. He looks down and sees his own shadow, dark and sharp on the fresh snow, a comforting proof of his own existence. He turns to Vera. She stands beside him, gazing at the sunrise. Gabriel notices she casts no shadow at all. She turns to face him, a slow, knowing smile spreading across her lips. Her eyes, once a cold gray, now glow with the same impossible Serenkov blue as the city they left behind.